Hey, what's up guys? Steve here. And with the 2023 MLB season kicking off, I'm going to try and get a handful of baseball videos out this month. Today we're going to be looking at the 20 highest selling baseball cards from the March of 2023 PWCC Premier Auction that ended on March 16th. And we'll kick today's list off at number 20 with this 1951 Bowman Willie Mays rookie, card number 305. This was a PSA 5.5 that received 18 bids and sold for $21,600. This sale is within $2,000 of what PSA 5.5s have been going for. The all-time record sale of this card is still held by a PSA 8 that sold for $338,400 at a Golden auction back at the peak of the market in 2021. There has been a few higher PSA 9 sales of this card, but I was unable to find any since 2008, where the last PSA 9 sold for $85,775 at a memory lane auction. Up next at number 19 is this 2019 Bowman Chrome Julio Rodriguez Red Shimmer Rookie Refractor. This was a BGS 9.5 with a 10 for the auto, and sold for $21,600. This card is a pop of 4 in a BGS 9.5, and I had a hard time finding any prior sales of this Red Shimmer parallel. Coming in at number 18 is this 1969 Topps Mickey Mantle Last Name in Yellow, card number 500. This was a PSA 9 that received 16 bids and sold for $22,800. This sale is right in line with the current average sale price for a PSA 9. The all-time record sale of this card is still held by a PSA 10 that sold for $108,000 at a Heritage auction back in November of 2018. Up next at number 17 is this 1952 Topps Willie Mays, card number 261. This was a PSA 3 with a 7 grade for the auto that received 16 bids and sold for $24,000. This is the highest graded autograph version of this card I could find since a PSA 3.5 sold for just over $93,000 back in September of 2022. We're back to modern cards at number 16 with this 2017 Bowman Chrome Ronald Acuna Orange Refractor Rookie. This was a BGS 9.5 that received 20 bids and sold for $25,200. Serial numbered out of only 25, this Orange Refractor is down as the last one to hit the market sold for $61,000 back in 2022. The all-time record sale of this card is still held by the first BGS Gold Label 10 to hit the market back in May of 2021 that sold for $108,000. Up next at number 15 is this 1956 Topps Mickey Mantle, card number 135. This was an SGC 8.5 that received 21 bids and also sold for $25,200. This is the new record sale of an SGC 8.5, beating out the previous record by roughly $9,000. The all-time record sale of this card is still held by a PSA 10 that sold for $382,400 at a Heritage auction back in August of 2016. Coming in at number 14 is this 1955 Topps Harmon Killebrew Rookie, card number 124. This was a PSA 9 that received 13 bids and sold for $28,200. This sale is down, as PSA 9s were consistently selling for over $30,000 from May of 2021 through November of 2022. The all-time record sale of this card is still held by the only PSA 10 comp I could find that sold for $59,000 back in May of 2012. Up next at number 13 is this 1933 Gaudi Babe Ruth, card number 144. This was an SGC 5.5 that received 14 bids and sold for $28,800. This is the third highest comp I could find for an SGC 5.5, with the record taking place in March of 2021 for just over $35,000. The all-time record sale of this card is still held by a PSA 9 that sold for $528,000 at a heritage auction back in January of 2019. We're back to Ultra Modern at number 12 with this 2022 Bowman Chrome Jackson Holiday Black Wave Rookie. This was a PSA 10 that received 20 bids and sold for $30,000. This is the first ever sale of this one of one I could find. Up next at number 11 is this 1933 Gaudi Babe Ruth, card number 149. This was an SGC 5 that received 19 bids and sold for $32,400. This sale falls only $3,600 short of the record sale for an SGC 5. The all-time record sale of this card is still held by a PSA 8 that sold for $540,000 at a heritage auction back in July of 2021. Kicking off the top 10 of today's list is this 1953 Topps Jackie Robinson, card number 1. This was an SGC 8.5 that received 24 bids and sold for $38,400. This is the new record sale of this card in an SGC 8.5, beating out the previous record by $12,000. The all-time record sale of this card is still held by a PSA 9 that sold for $288,000 at a golden auction back in October of 2021. Up next at number 9 is this 2011 Topps Update Hope Diamond Mike Trout Rookie. This was a PSA 9 that received 29 bids and sold for $42,000. This sale is right in line with the last PSA 9 that sold for $43,200 back in February, but still far off from the all-time record sale when this exact PSA 9 sold for $126,000 back in March of 2022. Coming in at number 8 is this 1939 Play Ball Ted Williams Rookie, card number 92. This was a PSA 8 that received 26 bids and sold for $43,200. This sale is right in line with the current average sale price for a PSA 8. The all-time record sale of this card is still held by a PSA 9 that sold for $480,000 at a heritage auction back in August of 2021. The Kid makes his first appearance on today's list at number 7 with this 1999 Upper Deck Game Jersey Ken Griffey Jr. Patch Auto. This was a BGS 9 that received 28 bids and sold for $48,000. This is the new record sale of this card in any grade by any grading company. This double jersey numbered card, serial number 24 out of 24, beat out the last BGS 9 that sold for $28,800 back in July of 2022. Up next at number 6 is this 1933 Sport Kings Babe Ruth, card number 2. This was a PSA 7 that received 22 bids and sold for $50,400. This sale is down as the last PSA 7 sold for $90,000 back in January. The all-time record sale of this card is still held by a PSA 8 that sold for $210,000 in May of 2021. Kicking off the top 5 of today's list is this 2018 Topps Transcendent 52 Topps Shohei Ohtani Superfractor. This was a BGS 9.5 that received 36 bids and sold for $69,000. This is the first ever sale of the Superfractor 1 of 1 I could find. Up next at number 4 is this 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle, card number 311. This was a PSA 4 that received 39 bids and sold for $90,000. This card in a PSA 4 has broke the 6-figure mark a handful of times in the past. The all-time record sale of this card is still held by that SGC 9.5 that sold for $12.6 million at the Heritage Auction back in August of 2022. Coming in at number 3 is this 1951 Bowman Mickey Mantle rookie, card number 253. This was an SGC 7.5 that received 32 bids and sold for $96,000. This is the new record sale of this card in an SGC 7.5, beating out the previous record by nearly $11,000. The all-time record sale of this Mantle rookie is still held by a PSA 9 that sold for just short of $3.2 million at a memory lane auction back in December of last year. Mike Trout makes another appearance at number 2 with this 2009 Bowman Chrome X-Fractor rookie. This was a BGS Black Labeled Pristine 10 that received 44 bids and sold for $120,000. This is the new record sale of this card in any grade by any grading company. Serial numbered out of 225, the previous record was held by a PSA 10 that sold for $78,000 back in September of 2021. And topping off today's list for the 20 highest selling baseball cards from the March 2023 PWCC Premier Auction is this 1953 Topps Willie Mays short print, card number 244. This was an SGC 8 that received 39 bids and sold for $186,000. This is the new record sale of this card in an SGC 8 and also the first to break the 6-figure mark as well. The all-time record sale of this card was just set in February where an SGC 9 sold for $360,000 at the Heritage Auction. Thanks for joining me today, guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.